hear that voice in my head telling me that it's the fourth quarter or some shit like that. And I remember it, and I'm still motivated, so I'm going to plow through this. It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. Shawn Day, our recruiting director, is not on with me, but he says one thing, and he says this to all of our employees too, because our employees go through hard shit all the time, right? Life is tough, their personal stuff, their work stuff, whatever. One of the things that he always says, and I will always credit him for this, and maybe he heard it from somewhere else, but he's religious about saying it, so I give him credit for it because it's super impactful to me. He always says, character is not what you do when like things are good, life is good. That's not the character that you have. Character is what you do, obviously, when no one's looking, but also when the shittiest of the shit is happening to you. What do you do when all the chips are down? That's exactly what your character is. Do you curl up in a ball and hide? Do you fight through it? Do you use your resources? Do you come on a show and talk about it? So that always hits home with me because I'm not bulletproof at all. Like I said earlier, last night, I was just sitting here in front of my computer and it was like, I knew I had a 5:45 a.m. meeting and I'm good on like 6 hours of sleep. Any less than that, and I'm a freaking zombie. I don't know how I'm still awake, but it was like, I just couldn't get anything done. My brain was like not functioning because of just the overwhelm of shit going on. And I literally hear like Shawn's voice in my head, like, character is what you do when the chips are down. I'm like, fuck, I just got to power through this thing, huh? I just gotta make it happen. You have like, any of you guys got that voice in your head from like an old teacher or an old coach or a old coworker, boss or mentor or manager, where like when things are shitty, you're just like, I hear that voice in my head telling me that it's the fourth quarter or some shit like that. And I remember it, and I'm still motivated, so I'm gonna plow through this. You guys got that at all?
I do, big time. Definitely when I'm operating equipment. So one of the biggest things is like I worked at Disney with the horticulture department, and one of the coolest things I had was I was able to have a mentor who got me on a lot of heavy equipment. And this one time there's this big dumpster and we had to push everything down in the dumpster. And, I'm just being real easy with it. He's like, Don, freaking pound the shit out of that freaking dumpster. He's like, you're not going to break the dumpster. So like when I get on the piece of equipment and like I'm fiddling around with an excavator, trying to do something, in the back of my mind, I feel like he is standing in the back of my head,
right behind you,
right behind me, going, what are you doing? Get the thing out of there. It's like, it's the most funniest thing. And it comes every single time. And I haven't seen this guy in like, it was 2010. So 12 years since I seen that guy. I mean, it's still, this guy is still haunting you.
He's still taunting you about your wussiness of fixing equipment.
Yeah. Don't feather this thing, just destroy it.
Don, we were in Cincinnati in the fall, and I'm pretty sure he was there with us because we had a 10,000 pound piece of equipment that you were like, oh yeah, you and I can lift this in the back of my truck. And I'm pretty sure he was right behind us because for a minute, was there a third person? Was Hecubus with us or somebody else?
Some random dude came up.
I remember some random dude. I felt like there was maybe three of us that tried to hoist it, but we might have been dumb enough to try to lift it with the two of us. So I think that
drunk enough or dumb enough.
Oh, we were dumb enough.
We were just dumb, like embarrassingly just dumb enough. It was like a wood splitter. I don't know how many hundreds of pounds that was, but after we lifted that, my spine just went like I could just feel the thing compress, and I'm pretty sure he was behind us being like, you just got to do this thing. I got home and I flipped the tailgate down, and my wife's like, hey, there's a sticker on there that says it's 495 pounds. It was.
Ooh,
it was.
Then I felt really bad for Dan. I was like, whoops.
That's all right. We got her in there. We got her home for you.
Fairly well.
Dave, you got that person in the back of your mind haunting you, taunting you, pushing you?
Yeah, my wife always.
She's not in the back of your mind. She's like literally just right behind you or in front of you.
I told you today. I show up at the airport in Phoenix this morning. It is literally 4 a.m. My flight's boarding in an hour, and I go into my wallet to grab my ID to check my bag, and I don't have my ID, like my wallet or my driver's license gone. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, man, my wife is gonna jump my shit. She's gonna, I mean, I'm like, man, am I in trouble? Like, oh, dude. Of course, I let her know, and she's like, you should have. She's like, you, James, you should have had a plan for this. And if you follow processes and procedures, you're not gonna lose your driver's license. And you need to. And I'm just like, I know.
But you're like, honey, do you know where my license is? Yeah, it's right here. I need to lecture you for.